Right now, we are closer to a global energy crisis than most people realize. Not a headline panic, not a market crash yet, but something slower, quieter, and potentially far more dangerous. Because if this conflict in the Gulf escalates even slightly, the consequences won't just be regional, they will be global. Iran holds a kind of leverage that doesn't get talked about enough. Not just military strength in the traditional sense, but the ability to disrupt critical infrastructure across the Gulf, and to do it quickly. We're talking about desalination plants, oil fields, refineries, pipelines, ports. The systems that keep energy flowing to the world. And here's the uncomfortable reality. There is no perfect shield against that. Missiles and drones today are cheap, fast, and numerous. Defensive systems are expensive, limited, and finite. So if large-scale conflict resumes, defense systems can be overwhelmed. That's where the real danger begins. Because this isn't just about a short-term shock. This isn't a few weeks of disruption. This could mean years. Years of damaged infrastructure. Years of reduced energy supply. Years of economic pressure building across the entire world. Oil prices have already been reacting. At one point, Brent crude climbed above $100 a barrel, and markets are betting on one fragile assumption: that things will stabilize, that the strait will remain open, that supply will recover. But if that assumption breaks, prices don't just rise, they accelerate. And when energy prices surge, everything follows. Food, transportation, manufacturing, entire economies begin to strain. That's what a dire crisis looks like. But there's something even worse. Because if full-scale fighting resumes, this doesn't stay a crisis. It becomes a catastrophe. A prolonged conflict in this region could choke global supply chains, destabilize economies, and push the world into a deep, long-lasting downturn. And the frightening part is how close both outcomes are. We're not far from escalation, but we're also not far from de-escalation. Because in geopolitics, sometimes entering a conflict is complicated, but exiting can be surprisingly simple. At least on paper. The United States could choose to step back, reduce pressure, end blockades, lower tensions. And politically, it could be framed as a victory. Narratives can be shaped, statements can be made, and the situation could cool down. But if that doesn't happen, if pressure continues to build, if actions escalate instead of de-escalate, then the current situation becomes unsustainable. And here's the deeper issue. How did we even get here? Because major conflicts are supposed to involve long deliberation, careful planning, multiple layers of analysis. But what we're seeing looks very different. Decisions made quickly, with limited consultation, and enormous consequences. When critical choices are made without full institutional process, without broad debate, without strategic caution, the risks multiply. There were assumptions made that leadership could be removed quickly, that political change would follow, that the situation would stabilize. But real-world systems don't work that cleanly. They rarely ever do. Instead, what we're left with is uncertainty, a fragile balance, where one decision, one strike, one escalation can tip everything. So now the world waits. Markets are watching, governments are calculating, and energy flows remain under quiet pressure. Most people won't feel it immediately, but if things go wrong, everyone will. Because this isn't just about one region. It's about the system that powers the global economy. And right now, that system is under stress.